Viewer discretion is advised. Your fave will be criticized.
That's Chris.
That's Chantel.
And welcome to CCTV, the non-stop pop show.
And today we'll be discussing 3 of K-pop's biggest scandals of 2023. Ooh.
Here on CCTV, Chris and I have the inside scoop with extensive experience performing on stage and working at record labels. Join us on our in-depth conversations about global pop music on patreon.com/cctvpops and become a part of our amazing crew, including Lily, Louie, Emily, and Julie.
So we've had a lot of questions on our live streams and in our DMs and stuff, asking our opinions and thoughts on the various scandals going on in the pop world. So we figured we'd do an episode about 3 of the biggest K-pop ones in 2023. Because I think in our last live stream, someone asked us about the 50/50 one.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we were like, we're right in the middle of it. Like, I'm not even well informed enough to even give any opinion. So now we can at least talk about it with a bit more knowledge, I think.
Yeah.
So yes, we'll be discussing the 50/50 legal disputes, which technically is still going, actually. So yeah. We'll also talk about Lisa's controversial Crazy Horse Paris performance. And also RIIZE's Seunghan, who is now on indefinite hiatus. Yes. So yeah, we're going to give our opinions. We'll recap what we know of it. If we missed anything, definitely let us know. And we'd love to know your thoughts as well. So
Indeed.
Let us know in the comments. Send us DMs.
Yes, indeed, because you guys are definitely keeping us what's the word for it, keen on what's going on, because I didn't realize how bad things were getting, and people were like, your thoughts. I'm like, oh, you really want, okay. Oh yeah, and if you are new here, Chris and I give our unfiltered opinion.
We do.
We do. So do not take this like super personally. It's just conversation and opinions, y'all.
But I have to say, they are informed opinions.
Yes.
Because both of us do work or have worked in many aspects of the music industry.
Korean and American. So
that's right.
We know.
We do. We do.
All right. So let's hop into the first scandal with 50/50.
All right. So 50/50 debuted in November 2022.
Sure.
And in February 2023, they became viral when they released their hit single, Cupid.
Yeah.
And the English version actually gained traction on TikTok and propelled the song into the Hot 100 here in the US, making them the 6th and fastest K-pop group to achieve this, which was crazy.
Yeah.
Right. And due to its success, Warner Music also became involved to work on overseas distribution for the group. So everything was looking real good for them.
Though the group had huge success in June 2023, following a series of statements from Attract about external forces affecting the group's promotion, the group faced internal strife, filing for an injunction to suspend exclusive contracts with Attract, citing contractual breaches, financial transparency issues, and medicinal negligence. Ooh, boy. And they sought trademarks for their name. So the girls of 50/50, that's Aran, Kina, and Sena, and Seo wanted their name, stage, and group name. And controversy arose when Attract accused Warner Music and An Seung-il, the CEO of The Givers, a production company that was involved with the group, of contract breaches and attempts to influence and poach the group. Both parties denied allegations, leading Attract to file criminal charges for fraud and breach of duty.
So the legal dispute led to canceled contracts and disrupted plans, including performances all over the world like KCON LA 2023. And they also were supposed to film a music video for Barbie Dreams, which was going to be is on the Barbie soundtrack. And in August 2023, the Seoul Central District Court actually ruled in favor of Attract, dismissing the members' injunction. So one member of the 4, Kina, ended up withdrawing her lawsuit against Attract on October 17th. And then on October 23rd, Attract terminated the contracts with the remaining 3 members. The Seoul High Court upheld the dismissal on October 24th. And they then announced that Kina would appear at the Billboard Music Awards in October, and also said they had plans to reorganize the group. Then, in November, they confirmed that there would be a second generation with Kina and 3 brand new members. And then in December, Attract then filed civil suits against the 3 former members and the givers for compensation of damages and penalties for violating their contracts. So lots of lawsuits going back and forth, lots of accusations going back and forth. There were interviews. There's all these like PR news articles going out, so people didn't really know what to believe. So it was very messy.
Yes, it was.
And it's still messy.
Oh my God, absolutely. I remember hearing things about like the CEO selling his car to get them trained and all these other things. Like, and then the girls are saying we were being treated poorly. And it's a lot.
Yeah. Well, okay. So the first buzz that was coming out was that people were like, okay, why are 50/50 not promoting Cupid when it's doing all these groundbreaking things on the charts and stuff? And this is when they should be out there. And then Attract came out and they released some statements saying that there were like some medical issues going on with the members, but then also that they knew there were some external forces that were trying to manipulate the girls and kind of get them out of their contracts, basically. So that's where the first buzz came from. And then it would kind of be then later, because then obviously then the members' lawsuits came along, then the accusations against the givers and Warner Music, and then it was kind of a he said, she said, like who did what situation. And it's still not fully clear because, like, as you said, yes, the CEO put out all these, or I guess articles about the CEO of Attract supposedly selling his car and his watch and using his own money to promote the group. And like, there are a lot of articles sympathizing with the Attract CEO. And then there were people against that were kind of like, well, he's paying off these news publications to write positive articles to be on his side.
Right. Public opinion, man.
Right. Then you have the members then coming out and saying, no, he treated us awfully.
Like crap,
Like he ignores our health issues. So yeah, there's a lot going on, but I guess we can look at it kind of just from the 3 main sides. So I guess from the Attract side first, the CEO, thoughts. What do you think?
It's a tough thing because, like, I guess when you've invested all this time and energy
and money,
those are money is a renewable resource, but the rest of it, it's a lot of time and energy spent. So I can understand his frustration because it's like, you ladies got big. I really to this day cannot tell you why Cupid was that song.
Same.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah, sure. But you and I watched it at your house, I remember, and we were like, oh, the song's actually really good. And we left it at that. Like, we weren't like odd singing it to each other like, Cupid. But that sped up TikTok version went viral. When I tell you, I do not know how it happened and why that was the song that got so big. I mean, congrats to them. They sound great. The song is not a bad song. Yeah. But it was not unlike that, what was out now. So, I mean, good for them. That's awesome. But I feel like had they had not reached that great deal of success, this would not be a conversation right now. So it's kind of like, I can see where he's coming from. It's like, I did all of this. We got lucky. I think it may have been some mentioning of him paying for, advertisement, if you will. I'm not going to say payola. But let's be real here. In the music industry, you have to pay for exposure. You have to pay to have your artist exploited. I'm not saying he's like the, pay Spotify. I don't know. I don't know all that. But you do have to pay for marketing. So I would be upset if my members I paid for and they signed contracts try to jump ship. I don't know about how much he put into it altogether. I don't know the man like that. But it is frustrating from a business standpoint because it's like, okay, so now what?
Exactly. Yeah.
And you want the money back. You want the money for the,
Yeah.
So
I completely agree with you. Like, people need to just taking a full step back and we're not looking at how he treated the members yet. We'll get there. Just from a pure business standpoint, which is kind of where you were also coming from, it takes a lot of resources to train, these people, to source these songs, to get all the stuff together. And so, yes, they definitely got lucky with this song. And so maybe he didn't have the experience to deal with so much success either. So it kind of just, a lot of other things were just happening. And then also we have both worked with Korean music related companies, and their contracts are not great.
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not laughing. Yeah, no, they're not.
First off, they're not very good about actually signing contracts for everything. And then also, the contracts are usually not very favorable to at least one of the parties. And
Right.
they're not good at kind of being all encompassing. There's always a lot of loopholes and stuff,
Yep.
which is kind of what happened in some parts of this whole issue. And so I don't know. That's a whole other aspect of the K-pop industry that needs to be figured out because, yeah, the whole contracting state there is really bad.
Dude,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I have an update. Look, when we get to like toward the end of this like discussion, there is an update regarding legislature for this situation.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting. Okay.
Oh my God, what a mess.
Okay. So then, aside from the business side of it, the members did come out in their statements saying that the Attract CEO and Attract as a company in general treated them really, really poorly because they had a lot of health issues. And there is proof, I guess, during the lawsuit that were like phone calls and stuff that were released where you can actually hear them saying like, oh, they need 2 weeks to recover. No, they only get 3 days or something like that. Something like that. That's not the exact thing. But that type of thing where like they're not giving them the care that they need.
Yeah.
And the members said that like their bodies were like deteriorating basically because they were working so hard. So there's that aspect of it. So any other thoughts on just Attract before we then bring in, I guess, the givers aspect?
Yeah. So from what I found out, a little bit more information, apparently someone allegedly faked a positive virus result. Now, you can have all of these true statements and you use something very serious to lie about. It throws everything out, unfortunately, because a lot of people are going to be like, like you can do a whole, like 100 good things. You do that one bad thing people remember.
Yeah.
Like, I can say a whole good things and people be like, well, Chantel said this and the third. We probably get a comment like that. But that's my point. They had very, very true statements about how they were feeling mentally, physically, etc. But when the fake virus result came out, it just made them look like they were just crying wolf. And you and I both know, to being a part of dance teams, about having a job, doing all this other stuff, and mixing in some type of creative work, recreational or otherwise, it is exhausting because you're trying to sit there and be like a normal human, but like still feed your creative side. For them, I don't think people realize like idols have to work. This is their job. And if they don't feel good, unfortunately, companies, like you said, don't really care. They're like, okay, well, we're doing so great. Like, let's just keep going. And they're like, okay, but if I die, then what? Like,
right.
Like, if I pass out right now, then what? And I just feel bad for them because I do believe that because of all this momentum, they got pushed. Because with groups like this, if they don't do really successfully, we don't hear from them for like a year and some like 8 months to a year because they were so successful. I think they got pushed and too much. And I do believe that they had valid points. I do believe that they're telling the truth. It's just mixed in with some not so truth. It just kind of smacked away their honesty, their honest moments.
I mean, this is also, it's also a very typical situation that we see all the time of very powerful people taking advantage of people that are not as knowledgeable or taking advantage of them in some way, right? So like these young women, they just want to be pop stars. You know what I mean? And so like they're like, well, and they're being influenced by these powerful people to be like, you need to do this in order to be what you want to be. And they don't know any better, right? They're like trusting in the people that are supposedly, helping them succeed.
Yeah.
So then that kind of helps bring in then the givers, because so the givers are a production company that were under they also like had a contract with Attract. They helped source Cupid as a song. And then so first Attract was saying that the givers, along with Warner Music, who were the overseas distributors, were trying to either buy 50/50 out or poach them in some way.
Right.
And basically convincing them that they should leave Attract because they could gain more success if they went with someone else. So I got a little confused with the articles because then there was mention of like Kakao Entertainment.
Oh, yeah.
And like, there were other company names that I couldn't tell if they were just lying to the members, being like, I have ins with all these companies. You don't need Attract. I can get you in with this company, or this company, something like that. But yeah, anyway, so Attract was accusing this An Sung-il, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of convincing and brainwashing the members that they don't need a tract. The members at first, they did come out in their first statements and say that they had no outside influence. Like they again mentioned that they were just treated not well. They not just the health stuff, but also like the financial statements didn't make any sense.
Yeah, the royalty stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like there was just a lot of weird stuff going on. And so they claimed that it was not outside influence. But then later, when Kina then decided to go back, she did do an interview with Dispatch where she did blame An Sung-il for influencing them.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, again, just kind of like a he said, she said situation. So like there's obviously different sides to every story, I guess.
Right.
But then what did come out is that the Givers, they owned like 96 point something percent of the copyright of Cupid. And then all this stuff about like a forged signature came out.
Yes.
So basically then Attract was saying that the Givers manipulated the situation to own almost the entire copyright of the song Cupid.
Yeah.
And that An Sung-il guy also lied about all his credentials and stuff.
Sorry. I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm laughing at the lying. Why? That's a lot.
Yeah. It's a lot. I don't even know where to start.
You know what? Honestly, okay. All right. So the royalty situation is so funky.
Yes.
I was doing publishing for a Korean company. And
Right.
I remember I got a phone call. It was so late. I got a phone call, but it was like afternoon time in Korea. I get a phone call talking about, can you change the split sheet? This one singer wants her credit. It was like 2% on a song. And I was so mad. But I understand, regardless of how much she wanted, she wrote something on that song, so she should get it.
Yeah.
My point is, do you know how many people have to look at a contract before, or like a split sheet before it actually gets sent to Comca? Something was wrong. Something was very wrong, and I feel like I could be speaking out my butt, but if the Attract CEO cannot afford to pay for certain things and was like, well, I don't know if the song's going to go anywhere, and let Mr. Seung-il take a majority share of it.
Right.
Dots over here. I'm just trying to connect dots over here. Tin hat moment.
Yeah.
Then that's probably the reason why he has so much, because when I was doing the publishing, I had to sit there and send it to this person, send it to that person. Is this right? Get it stamped. And even when it was late, I had to make a whole document saying, sorry, it's late. Can we redo it? Like, there's so many steps to get it approved by Comca that is not okay. Comca is the performing rights organization, copyright organization that is for Korea as a whole.
Right.
So for our American listeners, that's like ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. So yeah, it's just so many hoops and hurdles you have to get over that is just a little strange to me. That's why I'm just like, I don't think the beginning, like the inception of this whole project wasn't fleshed out well. I don't think it was well fleshed. The other word I want to say, yeah, well fleshed. So yeah.
The other part of the K-pop industry that has been happening, because obviously, maybe 10, 15 years ago, it really was just the big three and then a couple of select companies. Now, every day, there's like a new company that pops up with a new group. And a lot of these people, and I've talked to some of these people, they do not understand the business at all. They don't even probably know what a split is, a publishing split. They don't even know what it is, right? And so it's possible that Attract's CEO was just trusted the Givers just to do it and never even understood what was happening until like after the fact.
Yeah, no, that's valid.
The whole forged signature thing with the Swedish songwriters and stuff, that's a whole other thing. Go ahead.
Here's a little tidbit. I waited a long time. I waited the amount of time after I signed that NADA, the NDA. They can send it to, I'm not speaking for my company, I'm just saying, but people can send contracts, but people in the company may just have like a stamp signature. It's not like
what it was?
It may have been, because not usually, but I have seen, I've heard that not everybody's signing what they're supposed to be signing, and sometimes it's just we have a PDF of the signature or the stamp of the Korean or the American songwriter. Sometimes you can get it where it's done properly and they write on it and they PDF it and send it back, but it was very rare.
We gotta just use DocuSign, people.
I'm just saying. Come on. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know. This is coming from like past experience from so long ago that contractually I'm okay to talk about it. But like, I don't know what happened. But
no,
I've
stamps
just
are,
seen it.
you're right. Stamps are definitely a thing, but usually there is a rule where it's like the person who's stamping it is authorizing it. So it usually is still passable. Yeah.
But if it's like a,
Yeah, I don't know, but that's a whole
or girl
thing.
Well, yes, it is.
And then, of course, then the members also had very little percentage, too. So then they get involved in the whole, like, copyright issue as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then the members, there's been a lot of stuff going on that has been quite cultural as well, because in Korea, the members of 50/50 were labeled as betrayal idols. And there was actually a lot of public support for the CEO of Attract, more so than the members in Korea. But then in the West, I think the general consensus among the K-pop fans is like they're like behind the artist, which is usually the case. I think here in the US and in the West, we tend to support the artists versus the big companies. You know, we're like the big evil
fight the machine.
Yeah, fight the machine. But that's not the mentality in Korea, because in Korea, it's about respect. Right. It's a lot about hierarchy and respect. And it's like the CEO like gave them the opportunity. So they're showing a lot of disrespect by now coming back around and doing all this.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting debate, because I think people on either side don't really understand the other's point of view. And that's led to a lot of like fan war a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, just wanted to also mention that. But yeah, what do you think, I guess, will happen next? Because obviously now Attract has filed more lawsuits against those members.
Yeah.
They're apparently trying to find management or something on their own.
Yeah, they're going to have a hard time,
and
man.
then Kina
she said, I'm back. Sorry. She said, I'm so sorry. She came back. I mean, I don't blame her.
Yeah.
I don't blame her, and I don't blame the other members. Like, they must feel so much conviction behind their fight.
Yes.
That they're not willing to go back. But Kina, I don't think she's wrong. I don't think anyone's wrong or right, because these girls, they are the weaker link in this whole chain of mess. They are the weaker link. In terms of like power, monetary, there's everything. There's just, I think both are fine and right, but the three members have a fight on their hands because apparently the parents are being came after too, being chased too. Because I mean, the girls were like 18 to 20, like they weren't even adults yet. So the parents are now like got to open up their pocketbooks, and I'm like, that. Oh my God, that is so stressful. I think about like my music career. I have never asked my mom for a cent. I would be so stressed if she had to pay like my breach of contract fees. With Kina, I feel like she's thinking about her bottom line, and that's okay. At the end of the day, this was just good luck gone bad, gone sour. The luck came too fast and went very quickly.
Yeah.
So more power to her. I am curious to see what's going to happen with 50/50 with this new iteration and the other three girls. I hope that they can at least break into some kind of industry if they still want to. I hope they can, because I have seen male idols do a lot worse and can be just fine. But again, Korea is different. I get it. And then legislatively, apparently there is a new act called the 50/50 Act that has been proposed.
Okay.
Boy, which is crazy because Luna was going through so much, and it's like, where's their law? Anyway, so basically this 50/50 Act would protect the rights of smaller agencies in the arts entertainment sector. So basically, instead of like giving a little bit more power to the artist, it's essentially addressing singer poaching and tampering of an artist contract, which is not great. Like, the whole idea is to, quote unquote, bring about a fair and competitive environment, which is meant to prevent larger companies from trying to snatch up the artists from little to mid-sized companies. I totally get that. But now you're going to sit there and give these girls like a vibranium ball and chain that they cannot break out of, artists, excuse me. Not just the girls, but like they can't get out of it. 7, 10 year, 15-year contract. I'm pretty sure they're not going to be like crazy contract terms. But what can you do except if, oh, yeah, we did this one stunt and like I broke my arm. I need a day off. Like it would have to be an extreme case. And a lot of people are like kind of like
Yeah, I mean, again, this goes
freaking
back
out.
to like the Korean just business culture in how they operate.
It's rough.
That's terrible.
I feel bad for them.
I think for Kina, I think they should just start it over. Like, don't use the 50/50 brand. Like, let's just start fresh.
Yeah.
Like, it's tainted. Like, it's one of those things where 50/50, like, they have like what, 5 songs? Like,
Oh,
yes,
yeah, not that many.
like,
Yeah.
yes, they had a huge hit, which is awesome. But do they really have like diehard fans? Like, they're not at that point. You know what I mean? They were
No.
around for literally like 4 months actively.
Which is crazy. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so it's like, just start fresh.
Start
like,
fresh.
So with her, like, I hope she made the right decision for her.
Yeah.
You know, I think it just looks a little odd just because it's like you first came out with those statements saying like that you were treated so horribly.
Then you're like, it's
Yeah.
windy.
For the other 3, definitely an uphill battle. They're very young. So, you know, I'm sure they can figure out something.
Yeah.
But whether that's in the public eye, I don't know.
Oh, I know. That's a suck.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, like, yes, again, Cupid was a fun song. It was a good song. It did break a bunch of records. It did super well. But, like, did that really have anything to do with the 4 of them? Not really.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate because now we won't know what could have happened with the 4 of them.
Right.
And that's what he means. So don't come from like, don't do that. What we're saying is that song, they're not going to do disco for their whole,
Right.
thing. You know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
it was a lucky draw
Yeah.
or unlucky. I don't know.
I mean, I hope they get their money that they were supposed to.
Or I hope everyone just stops and leaves everybody alone. Like that's just me living in fairyland. I just want to go back to the way things used to be. We used to with just sunshines and make a cake of sunshines and rainbows and
You don't even go here. Okay. Anyway.
love it. Thank you. Well, let us know what you guys think. This discussion is a tough one for sure. Keep it civil.
Lots going on there. Lots of
Yeah.
angles.
Yeah, it's tough. It's a tough call for sure.
All right. So, moving on to scandal number 2.
Lisa at Crazy Horse. All right. So in September 2023, Lisa of Blackpink headlined 5 performances for the Parisian cabaret Crazy Horse. And Crazy Horse is known for their productions featuring burlesque performances and dancers in revealing outfits. So a K-pop idol being associated with nudity and such an overtly sexual space came with backlash. And many conservative netizens heavily criticized Lisa for her performance, and her performance actually came in the midst of Blackpink's contract renewal controversy, so it became a lot more mixy and swirly than it should have been, but also just culturally speaking, like you mentioned before, things is different out there in Korea.
Yeah. I think people were like, oh, is she like trying to show an act of defiance against YG kind of thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously we're both in the West, so I think our opinions are probably quite Western. But I'm going to try and at least look at it from both points of view, right? So Korea is a very conservative country. Like anyone who's ever watched a K-drama, like those kisses, like it's like it is like barely a peck, like, you know? And like anytime someone does anything slightly, maybe a slightly open mouth, it becomes like news. They're like, oh my gosh. That's like how scandalous. And you know, any relationship, anything related to a private life, is just not a thing. Plus, then you look at like female like sexualization and stuff too. That's always been an issue too. And other K-pop idols have all faced these types of things, right? Like look at like Hyuna and Hwasa. Yeah, like it's they're just still very conservative there, and it really sucks. So I think you just have to kind of keep that frame of mind with why this was such an issue.
Yes. So don't be like, I don't see what the problem is. I do see what the problem is. I totally get it.
Yeah.
But like you said, because we're from the West, I'm like, you know what? I get it as well. It's interesting because like when I heard about the crazy horse thing, I was like, oh, isn't that what Beyonce did in the Partition video? And so if you guys need a visual representation, if you're not a K-pop fan, or if you just don't want to go through the whole searching and looking and whatnot, or if you're just listening, imagine the Partition video with the silhouette and the lights on the bodies and the like that's literally Crazy Horse. Like that's the whole setup that they have.
Yeah.
And Lisa did some solo performances as well as like staple sets in the performance. And there have been pictures, and I just want to say she looked so happy. That smile that she had was the smile that she has when she performs with Blackpink. So aside from all the cultural, the woman looked happy. She's a 26-year-old woman who wants to explore her femininity, not her sexuality. And sometimes being feminine means exploring that sensuality. It wasn't full frontal like a can, so let's give her that. And it was more like showgirls, you know, the dresses of Versace, it's giving Nomi Malone. Like it wasn't like she was like, you know, here's my nips that I know of. But I don't think she would have done that because she had her family come through and her alleged man was there too. So I don't think she did anything too crazy. But the reputation of the French Crazy Horse, it became a huge thing. And it's unfortunate because it's like she is 26. She debuted in how many years ago now?
Yeah,
she was like 19.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So although she may have young fans, I do feel that people blame her like she has young fans, she should know better. No. They should know better. Fans should know better to understand that their life is not your life and vice versa. You do not have to follow them to the ends of the earth. You don't have to agree with everything that they do, but they're going to do what they want to do. So it's not her responsibility to raise anyone, to make anyone feel special, important. But if you felt that from Blackpink, that is fine. But what Blackpink does as Lisa, Jisoo, Rosé, and Jennie has nothing to do with you, the consumer. At the end of the day, you are a consumer. And that's how it is. So for her, like kind of doing her Disney star breakout, can't be tame moment, go ahead, mama, do what you want to do.
Yes.
She can do what she wants to do with her body. In terms of being a K-pop idol, though, I think that is where I'm kind of like, I understand why people are like, oh my God, no, wait, stop. Because there are ways to be sexy without going so far to doing...
She went to the far extreme. She did, yes. Yeah.
You know, she's now trying to make roots in Paris, which I get. Like, she wants to have, like, a nice life. Like, she's cool with not the first lady, but she's cool with, like, the first lady of Paris, and she has her boo out there. I get it. But I get why people are like, as a K-pop idol, we can't have this kind of image because of the idol thing. You can't even say gambling. Can't talk about lotto. But it's interesting how people have spoken to her about it, because now suddenly she's very much Thai. It's like, you are, keep that crap away from K-pop. The comments have been disgusting.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? She's already Thai, we get it. But like, now it's very much like, oh yeah, no. A Korean woman she could never say she's still K-pop. And that's what kind of bothered me about it. Like, I get the conservative Korean media, but she wasn't in Korea.
Yes.
So when she comes back, she will fall in line, you know? So, but people got a little nasty. I didn't appreciate that.
I mean, I think the thing with Blackpink is they don't need YG, right? They don't need the Korean public, actually. They are big enough in the rest of the world to carry their success pretty much for the rest of their lives if they, do it correctly. And so I thought this was a really great way for her to just kind of say that. Kind of just be like, I can do whatever I want.
Yep.
Like, I don't need you.
You're a pin. Yeah.
Yeah. And, like Jennie did The Idol, and I feel like that also had similar controversy, right? Because, I mean, not like her role wasn't that bad, but she did have that one scene that was there's a lot of skin in that. But yeah, no, I think I kind of love that they're able to just kind of be like, we don't need to adhere to your Korean idol standards because we don't actually need to be K-pop idols. We've kind of transcended that. Literally. They're above that.
Lisa is the most followed K-pop artist
Yeah, they're like beyond K-pop. They are just
Yeah.
global pop stars at this point that just happen to sing in Korean.
Yeah, no, that's so valid. We're not disrespecting K-pop as a whole. We're just
Not at all.
saying that
Yeah.
they can't be held in the box that a lot of people are trying to throw them in.
Yeah.
Fans, casuals alike,
That's right.
So
Yeah.
we're just saying that. But yeah, no, I wish I could have seen it because she can dance her butt off on a performer level.
Oh,
this girl's a
yeah.
dang star. Like, she is so
Yes.
good. She just work on her singing just a little bit more for me, but it's okay.
Yes. I did read some reviews from people who did get to see it, and they all said
Yeah.
she killed it.
I bet she did. She's
She's
so good. And
Yeah.
it's new too. I mean, I do pole dancing and like the silks and stuff. I mean, I don't get like super dick. I wear like a tennis dress every time, but it's fun. And I think that's all she was trying to do is have fun.
Yeah.
Also be like, you can't stop me. You can't stop me. And she wasn't stopped, which I think is really interesting.
Yes.
But YG wasn't like, oh, we have you by the, not the balls, but we have you by the neck, Lisa. No. I have you by the neck. Let me go do this.
Yeah.
So.
And then now Blackpink, none of them, they've only signed the contract for Blackpink activities, right? So they're all doing their own stuff outside. So
Super
we love
flex.
that. Yeah.
We should talk about that. Let us know if you guys would like to see a video about upcoming trends in K-pop, and we could do that for you because we have some opinions about that we expressed on our live stream that you missed. So you don't want to miss any more of those fun chats.
Mhm. All right, so moving on to scandal number 3. And we're talking about RIIZE's Seunghan, or ex-member. We don't know yet. So RIIZE is SM Entertainment's latest boy group, and they're the first boy group after all the NCT
Madness.
ones. There's now NCT Wish coming out, so they were just kind of randomly
Oh, the
released
Japanese
in the middle.
boys.
Yeah. The final NCT unit, supposedly. So yes, not even a few months into their debut, one of the members, Seunghan, was wrapped up in several rumors. So first, in August 2023, photos depicting him kissing someone believed to be a former girlfriend were leaked by an anonymous social media account.
Yes, and there was also another controversy that emerged when a leaked private Instagram live conversation with TXT's Soobin was exposed. Fans were surprised by their unexpected friendship, but a mistranslation during Seunghan's playful banter caused a little bit of a misunderstanding, with Le Sserafim's Eunchae allegedly being insulted, even though it was discovered to not be the case. The two boys were just being boys, talking to each other. It turned to a thing, and despite the clarification, Seunghan faced a lot of backlash from Le Sserafim's The Fear Nots. They were on his...
And everyone. They were like, this is so unprofessional. Soobin got a lot of heat too, actually.
Yeah, that's all right.
Yeah. So then, following these controversies, more stories and leaked footage started emerging about Seunghan's behavior prior to his debut. So all these people that claimed to be former friends and classmates and stuff started coming out. So then there was footage of possibly him smoking and drinking. Then stories about him apparently flaunting his trainee status and bragging about the power that comes with that. He apparently mistreated other trainees and was just overall unpleasant with his peers and a bad friend as well. So Seunghan did apologize multiple times through the months for his past actions through statements from SM. And SM did announce legal action against those who posted the photos. But in November 2023, it was too much, and a statement was released announcing Seunghan would take an indefinite hiatus from all activities from the time being until further notice, so that he can reflect on his past actions following his controversies, and also to allow the group to continue their promotions since they were, just starting and had a lot planned. So this whole thing is ridiculous to me, and again, it comes from me being quite westernized, I guess, in my opinions. But I guess, again, let's start with just the Korean viewpoint.
Yes. Yeah.
Culturally. And again, this kind of ties in with Lisa's thing as well, because it is that K-pop idol standard, quote unquote. Because obviously we've seen through the years, every time someone gets accused, they were like, when you were 4, you were mean kid, and then they get fired 20 years later for, you know what I mean? And it's like, they were 4. Obviously, I'm exaggerating, everyone. But there is this whole idea that K-pop idols are supposed to be perfect, upstanding citizens that can do no wrong and are the nicest people, can make no mistakes, can somehow sound perfect and dance perfectly, and
They look
have
perfect.
all the energy in the world and don't need to sleep or eat. Dolls, essentially.
Basically, like,
So this is just one in a long line of issues of former classmates and stuff coming out and saying that these people are, not good people. So in my mind, he's a teenager. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
He's a kid. Like, kids are obnoxious. It doesn't matter what culture you're in. It doesn't matter what country you're in. Kids are naturally obnoxious. Like, that's just part of, like, human nature. Actually, it's part of, like, animal nature, too. Because if you've ever been around, like, an adolescent dog, they also are very mischievous,
Yep.
And so it's, like, it's natural, like, when you're in adolescence to be, like, kind of, like, just not your best
An SOB.
self.
Yeah. Like a little bit of an SOB. I mean,
right?
Yeah, no, because I teach English, taught
Right.
dance, different races. When I tell you they are literally all the same, but it's in a different language, you are
Yeah.
so right. God, oh my God, the subtitles are all the same. The subtitles are all the same. The adaptation is just different, and it sucks. I think his biggest mistake was taking pictures. And I know that probably sounds like, well, he shouldn't have done it in the first place. Let's get past that. Back in the day, when we got into K-pop, there was a thing called a phone band. And I was like, a phone band? What's a phone band? They need to put that stuff, really reinstate it. Because honestly, him being like, oh, I'm that guy, I'm about to be debut. Like, he knows he's not a bad-looking dude. Like, if I was his mother, I'd be like, look at my baby. I made a perfect little son. I'd be so proud of my son. He's not a bad-looking guy. Good for him. He's a cute kid, whatever. His biggest mistake was sitting there acting like he was that guy when he hadn't made it yet, because it makes him look so arrogant.
Yes.
And him being so individualistic as they were claiming that he was being does not reflect the collectivist team society that is expected out of a young trainee. And it stinks. Even when I auditioned for a K-pop group, I didn't say anything about it unless I passed a second round or blah, 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 blah. I wasn't like, I'm about to be, they don't even know. I was just like, I'm nervous, y'all. Stop being mean to me. It wasn't like, I wasn't crapping on people. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what exactly he was saying. The drinking, smoking thing. My thing is, don't get caught, first of all. Again, second of all, really, all he really had to do was like, I made a mistake when I was a kid. That was so dumb. Do not legit pull the don't do drugs, kids. Only you can prevent forest fire. Like, I feel like the way Korean companies handle like these very human error things is by apologizing, but like not saying, hey, listen, this was the past. No longer like this. I plan to live a life of X, Y, and Z. Then we'll hold him to a standard because he has said, I'm going to try to be better. And if he is continuing to be a, POS, then we deal with it then. Not before he knew he was going to be famous, when he was in high school, smelling himself, feeling himself, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's just, I don't think he's a saint.
Yeah.
But like, as long as you behave and grow, I feel like you can have another chance. Like, I feel like there's a lack of like education and redemption. But then you have some other artists, like, no offense, but SM has a lot of male artists that have said and done a lot of things.
Yes.
And unless somebody got into a crazy accident or someone's life was taken, they were allowed to come back.
Yes.
So I feel like if SM allows for him to stay away and do a whole Lucas 2.0, they're going to set a terrible precedent. Just be like, yo, no phone, bro. Or check the phones. Like, it's not that deep. Like, give them...
Yeah.
Like, there's a way to... like, what's the word for it? Counteract kids' behavior.
Yeah.
But God, without being like intrusive,
Yeah. I mean, the thing, what I will say with SM is, yes, at least with the men, they do
with the men, yes,
usually keep them in the company and usually find some way to bring them back into the public. Yeah. A lot of the, Yeah, so there's a lot of the SM artists where every time there's controversy, they kind of go away for like 6 months to a year, and then they kind of come back and they're like, I've grown as a person, and then everyone just kind of moves on. It's just kind of interesting because any other company pretty much is just like, you're fired. Like
No, word.
immediately. Like, yeah.
Word.
So that's actually interesting to me that SM at least does that. Because I think at least that does kind of allow for the whole kind of redemption kind of thing that you were mentioning. Because I do think you change so much. Like no one is like what they were like when they were teenagers.
Yes.
You know?
Oh my gosh.
And so I think allowing for that grace is important. At the same time, I do feel bad for the other members of RIIZE because that's the worst when some controversy happens like right after you.
People have been coming for these boys since they came out. Somebody's attacking one of them for being broke, and I'm like, y'all are wrong.
What?
He came out from the mud. My boy came from the mud and is doing his.
I did not hear that one. Oh man. Oh man. And Shotaro, he was in the dungeon with what's the other guy, Seunghan, for so long. Like, and they finally got to properly debut, and then all this happens.
It's frustrating to me because they've been through so much and they're so talented. And that you're right. It is kind of sad,
Yeah. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, I hope that he does come back, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. He doesn't deserve this. Like, this is crazy. Like, if he becomes an awful person, like, later on, then yes, I hope people drag him and, release the stories and footage. But, like, he's just a kid. Like, give people some time.
Dude, the girlfriend thing, that's what pissed me off. I was like, if he leaves this because of the girlfriend picture that from what he before, that's not even the same face that he has. Like, I'm like obviously, like, he didn't. I'm not sure if he got work.
Free nose jobs, etc.
I don't know. I don't know all that. But my point is, he doesn't even like. I feel like he looks like he's grown into like a young man. That kid back there looked like looking into the camera while he's kissing the girl. Come on, that's an idiot. This one over here, he's not gonna make the same mistake. Like I said, also even if you're not an idol and you're looking for something quote unquote respectful to do in your future, please scrub your social media accounts. Apologize to people if you haven't. Like, I don't know. Like, I just feel so bad for him. I just hope that he does get a chance to come back because I feel like everything they're mentioning is no one's business.
Yeah.
Completely. It really isn't.
Yeah.
Like, to ruin somebody's like whole career for what?
Yeah. It's just so interesting because, obviously in the West, this does happen too, right? You get these former classmates and stuff that are like, this person was an asshole. But usually people will stay on the side of the artist most of the time. Like, unless it's something like really horrible.
Right.
Which in this case, it really is. Again, it's just, for me, it's just him being a kid. Like an immature, dumb kid.
Yeah. He's not dumb. We're not calling him dumb as a person. We're just saying his behavior was less than intelligent and less than wise. So, that's how you feel. But yeah, I do feel bad for the guys. I do hope they get a chance to kind of just give us we're back and we're amazing. And, because they're talented. And I like him in this group.
Yeah, me too.
For selfish reasons, I'm like, they need somebody with a little bit of edge in this group because they're all just so like wholesome. And I feel like they need just as a boy group stan, American or otherwise, like I just love the image. Like they have the sweet one, the cool one, the smiley one, and then the bad boy. Like they need him there. Like he's fun.
He played a good role in there. Yeah.
And he's talented. So aside from that, he's talented. So.
All right. So those are the 3 K-pop scandals we decided to talk about. We'd love to know your thoughts on all of these. And let us know if you liked us discussing this.
Yeah.
Because we will do more of them if you like them.
I like them.
I like them too. So you can hang out with us and the crew on Patreon, and you can get priority choice on what our next episodes are by joining us at patreon.com/cctvpops. And you can also message us at cctvpops on all social media. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you're on a podcast platform, please give us a follow, rating, and review. Until next time, that's Chantel.
That's Chris.
Signing off from CCTV,
the non-stop
pop show.
Come on now.